Hello, hello.
This is another episode of My Thing, Your Thing. We don't know how to introduce ourselves yet. This is Donovan.
This is Hannah.
And this is episode 7 of our series in James Bond films.
I can't believe we've watched 7 James Bond movies. They all have sort of blended together in my head a little bit.
Yeah. That's kind of what happens.
Except for the last one. Lazenby sticks out.
Positive or negative?
Yes.
Ah, I see. Well, unfortunately, this is not Lazenby.
No.
Lazenby out. As I said in the last episode, George Lazenby was offered a 7-movie deal.
That's still wild to me.
And he turned it down because, well, his agent didn't think you could continue doing James Bond films in the 1970s. That was sort of a passé thing at this point.
He's a product of an earlier age.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's really funny considering they would make more James Bond movies in the 70s than they did in the 60s. And on the whole, they were roughly as successful.
Well, like, they're still based off of books from like the early 50s and early 60s, right?
Yeah, they started in the mid 50s and they went through the mid 60s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So like I can kind of see where his agent would be coming from of like, oh, the problems that we had in the 50s are going to be not applicable to like what's happening in the 70s.
Yeah.
But also he was kind of a bit of a dummy.
Yeah, ended up being totally wrong.
Yeah.
But we got to find a new James Bond because there's no more George Lazenby. He's out. Who we going to get? They thought of a lot of actors. They did some screen tests. They did auditions. They reached out to people. I'm going to give you a list of guys here. These are not guys who ended up actually being in this movie, but they're all ones that they thought about. Clint Eastwood.
What?
Adam West.
Wait, no. Go. You can't just skip past Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Wait, Adam. No, hold on. We have to deal with Eastwood before we can get to West.
Yes.
That man is so American. He bleeds red, white, and blue. What the hell do you mean they wanted him to be a British spy?
It was a thing at the time. I guess I don't know why, but I kind of know why. They thought that an American actor would make it more popular. That like
Sure.
American actors were just bigger stars, that they could just kind of like come through with that. People disagreed, and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But, Lazenby was Australian. He was not English.
Yeah, but the accent is closer than the American accent
True.
to the British accent. And also, Australia is part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
so.
and Connery was Scottish.
Sure.
So, you could kind of say, like, none of them were really from England.
Sure.
But, it didn't really end up mattering. So, yeah, Clint Eastwood, Adam West.
Was the Adam West Batman show over at this point?
By 1971, the Batman show was very popular.
Okay.
I can kind of see Adam West from a looks perspective.
Yeah.
He's got the James Bond look, especially kind of looks like Roger Moore, who will eventually become James Bond. Burt Reynolds?
Stop saying ridiculous things to me.
Burt Reynolds, if he is like clean shaven, he kind of has a Sean Connery thing going on. He's very masculine, kind of.
I've never seen Burt Reynolds without a mustache.
I know.
I don't believe that it works. And I don't think that they're going to get him to shave that mustache.
Yeah, he doesn't have an upper lip, actually.
No.
It's just,
The hair grows straight out of his teeth.
Mm-hmm. Robert Wagner. Robert Wagner was a pretty popular actor at the time, and the most James Bond thing he would ever do is he was number 2 in Austin Powers. So he was one of the bad guys kind of parodying James Bond further down the road. I bring up Robert Wagner for a reason. We'll get to it. The most ridiculous one was someone we've already talked about related to James Bond. That would be singer Tom Jones.
No.
Yeah.
Don't make Tom Jones do that.
Yeah, Tom
No.
Jones says that he was considered but was rejected because he was just too recognizable and famous already. Now, that's coming from Tom Jones, so who the hell knows if it's actually true.
Fair.
But I just think it's funny.
Yes. That is very, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
But there were 2 actors that they really narrowed in on as ones that they really wanted. One of those guys was Roger Moore.
Sure.
Now, Roger Moore had been somebody that they considered way back at the very beginning, but since then he's been doing a TV show called The Saint, and that has just been taking up too much of his time. We'll talk about that later when we actually get to when Roger Moore becomes James Bond.
I was gonna say I'm like vaguely aware of that, and I'm pretty sure they like did like a reboot kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. The guy that they narrowed in on the most, however, was a man named John Gavin. He was a fairly well-known actor at the time. He was in a lot of big movies in kind of smaller parts.
Sure.
That was sort of the thing that he was known for. He has the look. He definitely looks like James Bond. I will show you a picture. He was an American actor. He actually ended up being the president of the Screen Actors Guild very soon after this. Interestingly, the guy who came before him was Charlton Heston. So he was replacing Charlton Heston as the head of the Screen Actors Guild. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, no. That man looks like a Bond.
Yeah. He also would eventually become the United States ambassador to Mexico during Ronald Reagan.
Okay. Good for him. Wild career.
He had a very, very interesting career overall. His big break was he was the lead in A Time to Love and A Time to Die, which was a pretty big film in the late 50s. He also was Julius Caesar in Spartacus.
Oh,
Not a huge part in that movie, but obviously
huge movie.
Huge movie and big character, historically. He was Sam Loomis in Psycho. So he was the boyfriend, that character.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Sam Loomis is where Dr. Loomis in Halloween, played by Donald Pleasance, got the name. That's why they named him that. So that's another little connection to somebody who's already been in Bond. He was just in a lot of movies through this time, and he had that look. He had that, that he was all the time he was compared to Rock Hudson because he had that leading man look.
Yeah.
People really liked him. He was actually signed to be James Bond in this film.
What?
Yes. They signed him. They were going to have him be James Bond.
And then there was a terrible helicopter accident?
No. On Her Majesty's Secret Service flopped.
Oh.
Comparatively speaking.
Sure.
It didn't flop, really. It didn't make nearly as much money as all of the other James Bond films. And so the head of United Artists, David Picker, was like, we're going to hire Sean Connery or we're not going to make the movie. Like, that's the only guy we're getting.
Oh, no.
So they drove a dump truck full of money to Sean Connery's house. They went to him and said, we want you to play James Bond. And Sean Connery was like, no, absolutely not.
I had a contract. My contract ended. I'm done. No, thank you.
I don't want to do that. They said, we'll offer you a ton of money. We'll offer you $1.25 million. And he's like...
Damn!
He's like, still no, because I don't want to do it. I want to do other movies. I want to do more serious artistic movies. So they said, all right, on top of $1.25 million, we're going to distribute 2 films that you make of your choice. Just any 2 films that you want.
God damn.
Yes. They wanted him so fucking bad. To his credit, Sean Connery said, all right, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to start a charity.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. He started the Scottish International Education Trust, which still exists to this day. Basically, it's a charity that supports Scottish artists who want opportunities that they can't get in their home country, that they can break out and go other places, not just film and acting, a whole bunch of different things.
Well, goddamn, that's pretty cool.
That was really cool. I did not know that until I was doing some research for this film. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you go to that charity's website, it's still got pictures of Sean Connery, and it's even got pictures of diamonds, because it's like, when he did Diamonds Are Forever, this is the money that he used to start this film. Fantastic. Really, really cool. And so Sean Connery very reluctantly is like, all right, I'll do one more.
Do you have in your notes what movies he then got distributed?
I actually do. So he did a movie called The Offense, which came out in 1973, and The Offense was like a noir crime drama, and Sean Connery looks nothing like James Bond. He's got a big mustache, his hair is totally done differently. He looks a lot more like Zardoz, which is the next year after that. And, it was one of those, like, very critically acclaimed films that, who the hell remembers now? I don't know about the second one. It's not clear.
Oh, okay.
But he did do other films that were distributed by United Artists, so who the hell knows? Anywho's Blofeld's back.
Of course he is.
Different actor again.
Of course it is.
This time it's Charles Gray. Remember him?
Yes.
He was Mr. I think it was Henderson in You Only Live Twice, the guy who got stabbed through the paper wall.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That actor, which I find very confusing. Because he doesn't look like, Donald Pleasance, bald guy, scar on his face, that's fine. Telly Savalas, he doesn't have the scar on his face, but he's a bald guy. And you could be like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. Charles Gray does not look like either of those two guys. So, he's back.
Wait, so he's not bald in this one?
Nope.
What?
Yeah. I know, it's a little weird.
No, I don't like it.
We got Felix Leiter.
Yay!
A different guy playing Felix Leiter.
Of course.
This guy's name is Norman Burton. We'll talk about him later. So, what's this movie going to be about? Not anything to do with the book. Yeah. They were very set on the idea that Bond should avenge the death of his wife. That should be a big part of the plot. So Maibaum started the screenplay, but he eventually decided to kind of drop off the work. And a guy named Tom Mankiewicz... Sorry, let me take that again. Tom Mankiewicz, I believe is how it is pronounced. He would co-write this one, and then he would actually co-write the next two as well. He's also known for working on Superman 1 and 2 later on in the 70s.
Huh.
Yeah, he was kind of had a reputation for being like a script doctor. Like if you had a script and it was not that good, he would come in and he'd fix it up. That was sort of what he was known for.
That's what Carrie Fisher did for like most of the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Yep.
There's a lot of scripts that like she had her hands on and she fixed up for people and didn't like. Not that she didn't get credit, but like she wasn't like massively credited.
I'll say it again. It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
So the budget was again only about $7 million. So if you remember, You Only Live Twice was a budget of $10 million.
Yeah.
They brought it down to $7 million for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, largely because they didn't have to pay Connery nearly. They didn't have to pay Lazenby as much as they paid Connery. So the fact that they paid Connery $1.25 million and this budget for this movie was only $7 million, that means that this budget is actually kind of low compared to the other ones. So they wanted this one to be a success. They were like, we got to make sure that this one makes crazy amounts of money like they used to, not just a moderate success like the last one was. So we're just going to do Goldfinger again, basically. The initial idea for the film was that they were going to bring back Gert Frobe to be Goldfinger's identical twin.
No.
Yeah. They eventually decided that was too dumb.
Remind me, did Goldfinger die at the end of that movie?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
So they were like, that's too dumb. We're not going to do that. But we are going to get Guy Hamilton back to direct.
Sure.
Who has not directed since Goldfinger.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have Shirley Bassey do another song for us.
Smart.
It's going to be set in America again.
Yeah.
And, that's what we're going to do.
We're doing it again, but better this time.
And this time, it's in Vegas, baby!
Vegas, baby!
Yeah! Actually, it's kind of awesome seeing Vegas in the 70s. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of cool. He goes to Circus Circus in the movie, and I've been to Circus. It's not there anymore, but I was at Circus Circus, and it had not been updated since since Sean Connery was there. So it was kind of wild walking around the room that has like all the Midway games, and you're like, oh, this is exactly the same.
I can see all of the same thing.
Yeah.
I can stand in the exact same spot that James Bond did.
I'm actually kind of excited because when I was there, I did play the water pistol game, which again had not been updated since, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah.
I'm very excited to see that. If On Her Majesty's Secret Service was supposed to be a grounded Bond, like a more realistic one, whether it was or not, this was the opposite. This was going to be big, over the top, glitzy, glamorous, crazy. That's what we're doing.
Do we have a bunch of fun gadgets?
We do.
Hell yes!
We got fun gadgets. We got weird henchmen. We've got, Shirley Bassey singing. Like, this is Goldfinger type Bond, not on Her Majesty's Secret Service type Bond.
Oh, I am delighted already.
I know. It's pretty interesting. And, well, this is one of the films that is also very divisive. Some people think this is the worst one.
Really?
Yeah, some people hate this one. I have not seen it in years, but I remember really liking this one.
Sure.
Because it's kind of over the top.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But it's also, again, James Bond doing some nasty stuff.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's going to be fun. All right. Let's watch it. We'll be back shortly. Diamonds are forever.
It's such a sunny day, such a sunny day, such a sunny day away
Hey, dear listeners, Halloween is coming up soon. Are you excited? We sure are. We've got 5 special horror-themed episodes for October where we're going to talk about all our favorite spooky stuff. So make sure to tune in and get your Halloween fix. Anyways, thanks for listening, and back to the show. All right. We are back. Once again.
Hi.
Hey.
Were it not for one extremely contemptible 30 seconds, this might be my favorite Bond movie.
Are you absolutely shitting me?
It's dumb.
It's very dumb.
It's complicated.
It's very complicated.
There's a really great scene where Bond gets his ass kicked by 2 hot ladies.
That's true.
However, I'm gonna, when I do my list, this is gonna have to be down at the bottom, mostly because of that one extremely contemptible scene. There's just no coming back from that for me.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's saying a lot given how contemptible James Bond acts in a lot of this. And this is the one where they're the most absolutely disposable people.
Yeah, this is a huge cast.
Oh, massive, yeah.
Yeah. Very very weird. And in fact, not only is it really weird, but who these actors are, it's going to take us a while to go through all of it.
Oh boy.
We're going to have a good time.
It's going to take us a while to try and talk about the fucking plot of this goddamn movie.
Yeah,
we could probably simplify in some places.
Yeah.
I love the cold open.
The cold open's great. We don't ever really see Bond at this efficient of he's just, I'm going to fucking find Blofeld and kill his ass.
Yeah.
So he goes all around the world. He goes to Japan. He goes to Egypt.
Well, so there's this beautiful shot of this wonderful Japanese tea room, and they're there's some wonderful arranged flowers in the background, and they've got the paper walls, and there's the low tea table and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there oh, this is the sort of place where James Bond is going to do some amount of wheeling and dealing and possibly flirting. No, fuck you, guy through the wall.
Yeah, just absolutely fucking chucks him through the wall. And it doesn't kill him, but
he beats the absolute pants off of him.
Yeah, because he wants to know where Blofeld is.
And he's like, where is he? And the guy's like, Cairo. And he goes to Cairo, and then there's a guy playing blackjack.
Something.
And that guy goes, hit me, and then James Bond hits him. Great.
Great. This movie has, I think, the most gags.
Yes, it's the most cartoony so far.
They really went over the top with a bunch of gags. There's a lot of times where Bond says something really silly, out of pocket. There's a lot of just visual gags. Everyone's name is a pun.
Yeah.
Even more than normal, everyone's name is a pun. The guy, the head of the of the fucking funeral home is Morton Slumber. Come on. So cold open, smashes through, finds Blofeld, gets to his lair.
Yeah.
And where we find that he is having a bunch of people, their plastic surgery to make them doubles of him.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, to change his face so he looks different, and that explains why it's some other guy who's got hair now.
I mean, they don't explicitly say that, but I think you can kind of infer.
Yeah.
You can sort of go okay, that's probably why he looks different now.
I assumed why that was happening.
Yeah, and then he's got a bunch of doubles. He's got a guy in a vat of mud. It looks like poop, but it's
It
mud.
looks like baby diarrhea. It really does.
Yeah.
And James Bond kills the double, and then he thinks that he's killed Blofeld because he
Yes.
also sends him into a giant pot of boiling tahini.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it seems like Blofeld is dead. And so that is the end of the cold open as he sees the cat with the diamond
With a
necklace.
diamond necklace, yeah.
After the cold open, we see a scene where Bond is talking to, he's with M, and he's talking to this guy, Sir Donald, and he's getting his new mission. And M is, he is breaking James Bond's balls.
Yeah, he's being kind of shitty to him, but, like, to be fair to M, not to, like, defend a guy in intelligence or whatever, but, like, in the last movie, James Bond was just, like, fucking around for a while, and then, like, he went off and did his own thing, teamed up with a bad guy,
Yeah.
and then he got married, and now he's all fucking around doing other shit again. Like,
Yeah.
he's, as far as we know, he has not been on the job for quite a while.
Yeah, but he's giving him the business, but James Bond is like, why diamond smuggling? Why the fuck do I have to get involved in
Why
this?
is this any of my business?
And it's just like, no, we just need some regular, solid work from you, James. Obviously, it ends up being related to Blofeld.
Of course.
But he didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
So he goes to Amsterdam, which is the first part of the movie. But we get a cutaway scene where we see in South Africa in the diamond mines where the smuggling starts. And there's a bunch of people involved in the smuggling ring that are passing along the diamonds and they're being killed.
Yeah, every time the diamonds moved into new hands, the last people who had them died.
Yes.
Really quick, also, so the guy who works for the diamond company is talking all of this stuff about, like, how great their diamond mines are and how
Yeah.
good they are to their workers. Go fuck yourself, you goddamn liar.
Yeah, for real. It's wow.
The conditions for workers in any sort of mineral extraction mine, be it, like, diamonds or, like, lithium or, like, literally anything, they're always terrible, especially if they're in, like, developing nations. It's terrible. It's near slave-like conditions. It's
Yeah.
awful. And, like, fuck you if you think that it was any better in the 70s.
Yeah, like I think that was sanitized for a Western audience to go like,
absolutely.
"Oh, this is great. I'm that doesn't seem so bad at all."
We provide them with all sorts of health and dental care and wonderful compensation, many benefits.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Die in a hole.
As they most likely
As
will.
it was. Oh yeah. Also, one of his things is like, they're smuggling out all these diamonds, and we're worried about what they're going to do with them. They might like depress the market value. Hey guys, fun fact: diamonds actually are not as rare as people think that they are, and like the market has been artificially suppressed by De Beers for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. It's dumb for you to spend this much money on a raw diamond that got pulled out of the earth, probably by a child. Fuck that noise. Go get a lab created diamond. They're less expensive. At this point, you cannot tell the difference.
No. So anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm furious about this whole diamond thing.
yeah. The assassins that are killing all of the people in the smuggling ring are these two guys named Mr. Kidd and Mr. Wint.
They're fun. I like them.
They're very weird and fun, and they like have this very interesting interplay of where they talk to each other and like finish each other's sentences. They like hold hands and they kind of exchange looks. Like,
There's like one part where one of them is like, well, she's very pretty for a girl, and the other one gives him a look like, hey man, don't say that.
yeah, there has been a lot of talk that those characters are like queer coded.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that they maybe they're together. You know, it's very much one of those things where it's like it was the early 70s, so I think that was part of the joke.
Yeah.
But from a modern perspective, they're just being weird. Like you really can't pick up any of that.
They might just be friends.
They might just be weirdo friends. I like to think that they are gay and just fun.
So a bunch of people die, a bunch of diamonds go missing.
Yes.
And so they are like, we're going to have James Bond like be the next link in the chain to like figure out what's going on with all of this nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they have him replace some guy named, what's his name? Franks?
Yes,
Yeah.
Peter Franks.
Peter Franks, in Amsterdam.
Yep.
And he goes to talk to somebody named Case. Tiffany Case.
Tiffany-
Her name is Tiffany Case.
Tiffany Case. Diamond smuggler named Tiffany Case.
And she's named that because she was born at Tiffany's while her mother was looking for an engagement ring.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. And she appears to be like some sort of middleman for a bunch of like smuggly stuff because
Yeah.
she's got a bunch of different wigs and outfits, and she like takes a fingerprint from James Bond and compares it to some other guy, that she already had.
Yes, and
from-
the two fingerprints on the picture are an exact perfect match of each other, which, hey y'all, I'm not a fingerprint expert, but I know a little bit about them. That's not how fingerprints work.
No.
Yeah, like your two fingerprints, like your fingerprint changes all the time as your fingers, like, you know, you get cuts and you heal and your skin falls out. Like, it changes over time. There's no way that she would have, off of that glass, gotten a perfect fingerprint that was exactly the same as the one that they had on file for Peter Franks.
Yeah, like the smudging alone.
Yeah, not to mention it's like it had to be the same finger.
Yeah.
How would, like, all of your fingers have different fingerprints? Like, it's not how that works, y'all. It's just not.
Anyway,
It doesn't matter. Nobody
Yeah.
knows this. Nobody cares about this kind of thing. But the real Peter Frank shows up.
oh yeah, after James Bond has convinced her that he is Peter Frank and they're working together and he's going to take the diamonds to the next spot, the real Peter Frank shows up.
And they have a fight in an elevator, which is kind of fun.
It's like a really old school elevator where it's like an open cage that's going up and there's stuff around it, and they just like keep breaking all of the glass around them.
And it's a really slow one, too. It takes forever to go up like 3 floors. And after James Bond kills the guy using a fire extinguisher,
Oh yeah.
he just blows it in his face and then hits him with it.
He falls off
and he falls off. Yeah, but he switches the ID so that he's got James Bond stuff on there, and she's like, "Oh my God, you killed James Bond!" I guess she knows who James Bond is.
Everybody knows who James Bond is.
Do they though? Because it seems like every time he shows up and says, "Oh, James Bond," and they're like, "Who are you?" I mean, your face just changed in the last like.
You know what? Fair. It is kind of both ways. Like, they haven't heard of him when it's convenient, and they have heard of him when it is convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Going with the whole, he's actually a long forgotten trickster death god.
Trickster death god. Yeah. I mean, it's probably the best explanation. So, at this point, they take the dead body and they hide the diamonds that are smuggling on the dead body, and then take it on the plane and fly to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They get to Los Angeles, they land there, and we see Felix Leiter. Felix Leiter is like, "How'd you get the diamonds here? Where are they in the body?" And he says it's alimentary.
I don't know, man.
Hang on, let me look this up. Oh,
What?
the alimentary canal is the whole passage from which food passes from mouth to anus.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You get credit for that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. He puts the dead body on a hearse, and he just gets in the car with these 3 very shady-looking men in suits.
The shadiest guys you've ever seen.
Yeah.
With like real thick like New York accents, despite the fact that they are in California.
Yeah. Well, they are going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And at this point, Vegas was very heavily run by East Coast Mafia.
Yes.
Just saying. They get to the funeral home. He puts the body in the crematorium, and he gives the diamond because they're in the body. They pull the diamonds out somehow.
I think that we're supposed to believe that they burned the body and then took the diamonds out after, but I don't know like the heat at which diamonds get damaged and the heat at which we burn human bodies. And let's just not look, because why fucking bother? It happens within a minute, so it's not like we're really like going with how bodies are cremated anyway.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
But yeah, they bring the diamonds out, and he's like, "Oh, we have a wonderful place for you to inter them. Just put it in like this little section right here." So he takes it over there and he puts it in, and in that section there's like an envelope with money for him.
Yes.
And so he starts to go away. But as we have proved before in previous movies, it's very easy for you to sneak up behind Bond and fucking whack him on the back of the head.
Yes, and so the 2 assassins, Mr. Kidd and Mr. Wint, knock him out and put him in the crematorium and lock him in, and it looks like he's going to be burned to death.
Oh no.
And everything's like, "Oh no, James Bond, what's going to happen?" And then the next thing we see is them pulling him out of the crematorium saying, "Hey, where's the diamonds? Those were fakes." And he's just...
Them being the Undertaker and then some other guy.
Yeah.
The guy who like came in to like take the diamonds away.
they're like, those are the fakes. And he's like, well, it's fake money too. So when you give me real money, I'll give you the real diamonds. They're like, how do you know it's fake? He's like, well, you wouldn't burn $50,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, but you would, how did the real ones get what?
Yeah. Why? Okay. When were they fake diamonds? Were they fake diamonds the entire time? Were they real diamonds at some point, and then were they switched out for fake diamonds later?
It's kind of one of those movies where there's never any setup, only ever like, haha, I did this thing off screen.
Yes.
Which is really lazy. Like, sometimes it's fun to pull that, like, if there's something, like, really satisfying that you can do. But when you do it several times, it just gets lazy. It's just, you didn't want... It was too difficult to show, so you just didn't. You just told us you did it.
Especially because, like, the real diamonds get back into play at some point, but where they came from is never explained.
Not at all.
Like, are we supposed to believe that Tiffany had the real diamonds the whole time and she sent fake diamonds? But, like, that doesn't make any sense because why, like, she showed up and, like, hey, where are the diamonds? So who took the diamonds at what point and when did they get switched back for real diamonds? Because she thinks that he has them.
Yeah.
God, this is confusing.
Yeah. And then we get to kind of the middle part of the movie, which is a little bit of a mess. Because it's like, Hannah, we just watched that movie.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the next scene is? Like, where they go from that point?
Do you mean from the funeral home?
Yeah.
They go to Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah, but what do they do?
He checks into Circus.
No.
Yeah. No, that's where he goes to a different casino, and that's where he meets Plenty O'Toole.
Yeah.
Because he, like, uses his fake money as leverage to get, like, chips and wins a bunch of money playing
yeah. And they also
craps.
see that the envelope has Slumber Incorporated, which is
Right.
the name of the funeral home, which is involved in the smuggling operation. And so when he sees that, there's like, oh, his credit's good. And in doing that, he sort of gets the criminals, like, attention put on him.
Yeah, so he went to whatever casino that one the
That
guy
was the White House.
Yeah, the White House. That the guy was doing stand up at Shady Oaks.
Yeah, Shady
and
Tree.
Shady Tree, yeah.
And
Shady
his
Tree and his
acorn.
acorns.
Yeah.
He's like a stand up comedian and he was like the next link in the chain. And so James Bond goes there to try and talk to him.
Yeah.
But Kid and Wint get there first and he's dead.
Yep. And then Plenty O'Toole is also dead.
Yeah, so he meets this girl while he's playing craps. Like they're like she's very clearly like a girl who just like hangs out at tables like to hit on high rollers essentially. Yeah. He hangs out with her for a little bit and then he's like, oh, come up to my room. And so they go and they're like mobsters in his room and like she's already like taken her dress off and gone to slip into something more comfortable and they like drag her out of there topless, only wearing underwear and throw her out the window.
They throw her out the window. They're like on the 10th floor.
On the 10th floor. She lands in the pool and James Bond is like, great shot. And the guy's like, I didn't know there was a pool there. They were just going to fucking murder this woman.
Yeah, they were just going to.
At a casino.
They were going to defenestrate her.
Absolutely kill her for no reason.
And then he just sleeps with Tiffany Case.
Yeah.
Who is there too. Who at this point is
she's just in his room.
Yeah, she's still involved with smuggling, but she's also like, I kind of want to get out because it's dangerous. But we're not sure if she's being serious about that or not.
Were the mobsters just there to like get him alone for her?
Yeah. Like, this is what I'm saying about this movie.
Yeah.
More than any of the other James Bond films, it really doesn't feel like the plot hangs together at all. There are so many points where you're just kind of like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's fun. If you just turn off your brain and you enjoy the ride, it's a lot of fun. But if you think about it
for even 3 minutes, even a couple of seconds, you're going to be like, hey, where the fuck did that come from?
None of it makes any goddamn sense.
So, yeah, Tiffany Case is like, I want to get out of the game, and, like, you and those diamonds are my ticket out of here. Yeah. And he's like, cool, I'll set up an exchange so that you can get the diamonds later. And she's like, cool. And so then he has the diamonds. How and when, and did he always have them, or did he find them, or like did Shady Oaks have them and he somehow got them? It's not explained. It is never explained. Yeah, and at this point they have to be real diamonds because the next time that we see them they're being used in science bullshit and the scientists would know if those are real diamonds or if they're just glass. So like those have to be the real I'm fixating on this too hard. I have to calm down.
Yeah, you do. So she gets the diamonds by winning a game at the Midway at Circus Circus. By the way, Circus Circus is a casino that no longer exists. I think I mentioned this before.
Yeah.
It was the first family-friendly casino in Las Vegas. So they had trapeze acts and like circus acts, and they had like Midway games for children so that your children could come and play while you gambled downstairs. That was kind of the idea, and it still existed until a few years ago. It is no longer there.
And in this movie, they had a real live elephant on the casino floor pulling a slot machine, which I don't know if that was a thing that really happened in the real Circus Circus, and I fucking hope not, because
I have no idea.
don't do that to an elephant.
Yeah,
That's my note.
It was just like a weird gag. We're gonna skip the very unpleasant scene.
No, we're gonna talk about the very unpleasant scene. Like we have to, because it's horrific. Hang on.
Yeah. So in the capture of Tiffany Case, she gets the diamonds, and then Felix Leiter's men like close in on her, trying to catch her. Again, why they have to have her get the diamonds from the game before they can catch her? I don't really.
She's just.
They could have just
there.
got her when she walked in. It's dumb. But as she's trying to escape, she enters a room where they're doing a sideshow, and the sideshow. Hannah, you can explain this one.
Okay, so the sideshow is there is a cage with a black woman in it, and then there is some smoke and magic nonsense, and she transforms into a gorilla, and it's bad. It's really bad. If you don't know anything about the history of like person zoos, it's a thing that white people used to do, where they would literally take. This is like after the whole horror of chattel slavery. White people used to take natives from Africa and then put them in people zoos and like literally go look at them and poke at them with sticks. And so like that's a whole horrible thing. And then the comparison between black women and gorillas is its own separate horrible thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of like very gross imagery and very gross like associations, which you know, and like I wonder, you know, in the crowd of the kids like looking at this, there are like some black kids, and so I'm wondering if like that was to try and soften that blow, like if they
I don't think they knew, I don't think they cared. I don't think that this was like a thing that anybody thought was bad at the time.
Yeah.
I think that this was 100% just it's a circus, like a freak show thing.
Well, I really hope is that wasn't an actual show that Circus Circus had. Like,
oh god, I hope that wasn't a real thing either, but honestly, I low-key would not be surprised.
Neither would I.
It's real. It's bad. Yeah. It's horrible, and like for that reason, like I can't like this movie as much as I would like to.
Yeah. So she escapes the CIA sting easily, might I add, like really not even breaking a sweat, and she gets to her house, and at the house, James Bond is sitting there by the pool, and she's like, hey,
he knows where she lives.
Because apparently he knows where she lives. And she's like, hey, why is my black wig in the pool? And no, it's not your black wig. It's actually Plenty O'Toole, the chick who got thrown in the pool earlier, who survived that. She has since been killed at your house. Somehow she found out that was your house, and the guys tried to kill you but killed her. Again, what? This is so needlessly complicated.
There are like 8 missing steps here.
Yeah.
Like, why is Plenty O'Toole there? The only the explanation that I can think of is that she heard that James Bond was going there and she wanted to follow him because he was her ticket. But then she's just there before him?
Yep.
And then Winton Kid show up and kill her?
Yeah. Like, it does seem like there's a deleted scene. It seems like they cut like 2 scenes out of the middle of this movie. So then he and Tiffany Case drive out to this facility in the Nevada desert. Again, we're only like halfway through the movie right now.
There's
so much that happens in this. It's ridiculous. He gets out to this science place out in the middle of the desert, and he goes in, and he gets a radiation shield, which is just this tiny little thing he clips onto his jacket. What the fuck that's supposed to do, I have no idea.
I did like that little bit of like science magic nonsense of like, yeah, you're fine from radiation if you just wear this button.
Mm-hmm. And he goes into this room where Dr. Metz, who's apparently the leading expert on laser refraction, is in there, and he's like, hey, what are you doing in here? Get out. And so, you know, James Bond kind of looks around. He sees this satellite that's being built. He sees a tape of the world's greatest marches on the table, and he's like, "Huh, that's weird." And then he leaves. And as he's leaving, the guy who he's pretending to be walks in, and it's kind of a funny little gag, which I'll give it credit for. And then he escapes by stealing a training moon rover.
Yeah, so there's this room that's set to look like the moon with like even the Earth back behind it.
Yeah.
And they're like people in spacesuits, and they're like moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of like, are they training to be on the moon, or are they like faking the moon landing?
See,
here?
here's the thing. The only reason I disagree with that is that it's 1971. The whole "we faked the moon landing" thing didn't exist yet. People didn't think that dumb shit in 1971. That was a later thing.
Interesting.
I legitimately just think it was a training thing.
Okay.
I might be wrong about this, but I legitimately think this is just a training thing. Hot take, hey, everybody, if you think we didn't land on the moon, you're fucking stupid. Please continue.
Yeah, so he's like escaping in this like little mini moonlander thing, and like there are a bunch of guys in like hard steel bodied cars driving after him across the uneven ass desert, and like they keep just like falling into like small ditches and like flipping their cars over and stuff because they have the suspension of like a souffle.
Yeah.
So so they just keep crashing, and then somebody at some point was like, I know, why don't we send like the tricycle guys after them? So like there are all these guys on like we would like, you know, 4-wheelers, except they only have 3 wheels. So
Yeah.
3-wheelers. And it's like a very small version of like Mad Max Fury Road. It's Mad Max Mildly Perturbed Road.
Yeah.
And so then he eventually escapes from all of those guys, and Tiffany Case is waiting on the road for him with their car, and they get away.
Yeah.
So now James Bond knows that there's some sort of science going on that they need the diamonds for, because he saw the diamonds in there with the satellite.
Yes.
Which means that those had to be the real diamonds. And like we saw the diamonds in like the on at Circus, she won like a thing. She won like a little stuffed dog, and the diamonds were supposed to be in the stuffed dog, and then she gave the stuffed dog to somebody else, so the diamonds were actually in the stuffed. How did the diamonds get in the stuffed dog? God damn it.
Yeah, it's not. It's unclear. It seems like important scenes are cut out of the movie. Is what it feels like. It's very schizophrenic.
Yes, it's wild.
So then they go.
Yeah, what happens next?
Man, it is so fucking confusing. Bond and Tiffany Case that evening then have a car chase in Las Vegas. The guys in the science center, the science testing center, say, "Oh, we got to contact the sheriff." And then later on that night, when they're in Las Vegas, the sheriff sees that car and is just like, "That's the people we got to capture." And so then there's a car chase through the streets of Las Vegas, which is kind of an interesting like little scene, but it's pointless. It doesn't actually matter to the plot at all.
So we forgot something, which is that both the scientist and the sheriff are working for
Willard White.
I almost said Walter White, and I'm like, that's a different guy.
He's working for Willard White, his company. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, Willard White. That's who's in charge here. That's who owns the White House. That's his name."
White spelled with a Y.
Yes. Then after Bond and Tiffany escape from the police, they go back to the White House Hotel, and Felix Leiter is like, "Hey, I'm going to put a bunch of guards outside of your room. Just, like, chill out here. Don't make a move on Willard White because, like, he's a big deal and Washington doesn't want you to do that."
There is one really fun shot for me where they're in like the bridal suite of this very fancy casino, and the bed that they're sleeping on is like an acrylic fish tank.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of saltwater fish in there. And Leonos, I prefer freshwater over saltwater, but it is very fun to see all of these cool fish. However, looking at it, like there's no mattress on it. It's just like some fake furs on top of the acrylic, and like that's got to be so fucking uncomfortable to sleep on.
I can't imagine that would be a good time.
I can't either. Especially because then I would be like, you can't have sex with any sort of like vigorous motion on top of it. I'd be so worried about the whole thing breaking.
Yeah, I'd be worried about those fish.
I'd be worried about acrylic stabbing me in the side.
That also. I mean, if it was thick enough, I guess, but it doesn't seem like it would be.
Yeah, I super don't trust the engineers of this hotel to really take into account all of the strain that would be put on top of this acrylic bed.
Nor do I. But Bond then climbs out onto the balcony and then stands on top of the elevator, which takes him up to the top. and then he like kind of scales the outside of the building, getting to the roof, and then drops down into the penthouse.
There was one really fun moment when he was on top of the elevator where like he could see the ceiling coming towards him, and it
Yeah.
was a little bit like, oh no, I might have miscalculated this. What if I get squished? No, it's fine.
Yeah. And then he drops in and he lands on a toilet, which is kind of funny.
It's a very fancy toilet. It's got like
very
a
fancy
swivel
toilet.
seat.
Yeah.
And then like all of the monitors and a giant remote where you can like move different monitors and 2 telephones.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. He goes out into the other room, and oh no, the guy pretending to be Willard White, it's Blofeld.
What?
But it's also 2 Blofelds.
What?
Because he's got a double. Apparently, that was not the only double that he had. He had other doubles.
What?
Which means it was a triple or a quadruple?
Quadruple, yeah, because so there was the
Yeah.
one that he killed by throwing into the tahini, the one that was already in the mud bath, and then the 2 at the casino, so there would be 4 of them.
Yeah. So they basically spill the tea on everything. They're like, "Oh, James, you figured it out, but which one will you know is the real Blofeld?" He scares the cat. The cat jumps into the one Blofeld's arms. He shoots that one.
Shoots him directly in the eyeball.
Dies. And then the other Blofeld's like, "Oh, you had the right idea, but that's the wrong cat." And James Bond, of course, says the wrong pussy. Because he's James Bond.
Also, like, how do you know for sure?
Yeah.
Like, what if the other Blofeld was like, what if, like, this guy is the fake Blofeld, but he's also just, like, really committed to whatever the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Blofeld has been proven to be able to hypnotize people into doing things that he wants them to. What if he hypnotized all of his doubles to be exactly like him?
I actually kind of like that idea. That's
you.
kind of neat.
Would be fun if they put that in the movie.
Yeah, it would have been fun. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
So then James Bond, defeated, realizes, oh, I have lost this one. Blofeld's like, "Don't worry, go on, get on the elevator." And he does. And then he says, "Push L." L stands for lobby. And I was like, this is like, oh no, they're going to release the Loizen gas.
The Loizen gas.
And they do. They release the Loizen gas. What's the next part? This is so ridiculous.
Oh, they put him in that tube, the construction tube, to just like dump him out in the desert.
Yeah, they try to do that, and they bury him, and then he realizes that the machine that's in the tube, which I don't know what exactly it is.
I would assume it's something there to like just clear out debris.
Maybe so.
Because it seems to be something that goes through the tubes a lot, because those guys say every time it breaks down, it's 500 meters from the nearest hatch.
Yep. He breaks it, and then they come down and they open it up, and he gets out.
Yeah, and he's like, "I was walking my rat, and I seem to have lost my way."
Yeah.
Very silly.
This is kind of what I'm saying with, like, there's just these weird gags that come out of nowhere. You're just sort of like, what? Huh? Also, like, there's a guy loading that piece of pipe that he's lying in. Like, they didn't check. They didn't look. And also, they were able to pick it up and move it, and he was knocked out for hours and hours and hours, and he didn't wake up. It just...
No.
It strains credulity.
Yes.
Would be the way that I would put that. So anyway, Bond says, okay, we've got to go to White's house because he's locked up there.
Right. So Blofeld has said, "Oh, I'm keeping him hostage because like he's not come out of his penthouse in 5 years anyway.
Yeah.
No one's going to be looking for a guy who's already missing."
Yep.
So he's like, "Okay, well, we got to go find this guy." And so they go to his house, and this is where James Bond gets beat up by 2 hot girls, and it's great.
And their names are Bambi and Thumper.
And they're doing all sorts of like flips and kicks and stuff. And
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's so ridiculous that it like rolls back to, okay, this is actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is happening here?
Anyway, unfortunately, James Bond wins that fight. And
Yeah,
they're like,
and
"Oh, he's downstairs."
He
And so
nearly
they-
drowns the women so that, like, he waterboards them so
Yeah.
that they tell him what he wants. And they open it up, and the guy's just down there. And he's like, oh.
There's a weird motif of toilets and shitting because
Yeah.
James Bond lands in that guy's bathroom the first time, and then when they go find him, like the toilet flushes because he was just in the bathroom.
just in the
And then
bathroom.
like later at the end, he's like, "I'll take that call in the John," and like goes off to take a call while he's taking a shit.
Yeah, keeps having to go to the bathroom. But it turns out that the satellite has already been launched into space, and it's a laser satellite which explodes nuclear weapons. So they use
Yeah, they needed all those diamonds to intensify the laser so that they could blow shit up and burn things.
Yep, so they blow up a nuclear submarine for the Soviet Union, they blow up a missile for the US, and they blow up like a bank of missiles in China. And then he's like, "All right, there's an international auction. If you win the auction and you know, give me as much as you want, as much as you've got, I'll destroy all of the nuclear weapons of all the other countries."
Well, he also says like part of the price is like total nuclear disarmament.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and world peace. And it kind of seems like that scientist guy that built in the satellite Metz, like that's what he's in this for.
Yeah,
he wants nuclear disarmament and world peace.
He wants world peace, but that's not what Blofeld's trying to do.
No, it turns out you signed up to work for the murder factory.
Yeah, weird how people keep signing up to work for the murder factory, not wanting to be murdered. That's not how it works. But James Bond realizes that there's an oil rig that Willard White doesn't know about, and that must be Blofeld's base of operations.
Oh, this was a really funny part to me where they're like, you've got things everywhere from Texas to Maine to Oklahoma to Baja California.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean I don't have anything in Baja California?
So James Bond like parachutes down in a floating orb and then gets on the oil rig. And while on the oil rig, he has the fake tape, because that marching tape from earlier, that's actually the control coded tape to control the satellite. James Bond has a fake one, so he lands there, and he's got it hidden on him, but they search him and they find it, and so he's in this room, and Tiffany Case, who was captured by Blofeld, she manages to grab it and give it to James Bond, and then James Bond switches the coded tape with the fake tape, saving the day.
Huzzah! And then he gives the real tape to Tiffany and says he like puts it down the back of her swimsuit and says, your troubles are all behind you now. Which is unclear about what is happening and what she is supposed to do.
Yep. And then he gets like pulled away and gets sent to the brig. By the way, the brig is just a room where they keep stuff and also has convenient access to the outside.
There's literally just a hole with a cover on the floor.
It's so dumb. But Tiffany comes out while he's being pulled away and is just like, I switched the tapes for you, don't worry. And it's just like, oh, you idiot, I already switched the tapes.
Yeah, but you didn't tell her that.
Yeah.
She didn't know.
She didn't know.
Justice for Tiffany in this one case.
In this one case, huh?
Free my girl. She did many things wrong, but this one she was right.
Yep. And then a bunch of helicopters attack it. And so the whole tape thing doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it kind of does. There's another shot of Tiffany fiddling around on the thing, so it's unclear if she's like switched to them back again or if it fully does not matter because James Bond uses a Bathos sub as a wrecking ball and just fucking destroys the command center anyway.
Yeah, I thought for a minute, like, it's been a while since I watched it. I thought for a minute that, when Blofeld hands him the fake tape again, I was just like, oh, Metz, because he now realizes that Blofeld is not on his side, is gonna switch out the tape himself, but that doesn't happen. At least we don't see it happen.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Was there a shot of Blofeld being arrested, or was it just like, you're in this Bathos sub I'm using as a wrecking ball, now I have to jump off the oil rig and the oil rig exploded? Are we just assuming he's dead?
It's sure unclear. We don't really see what happens to him, like, at all.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, very weird. Anyway, Bond and Tiffany then, we just hard cut to Bond and Tiffany being on a cruise liner. And they're just going back to England. And it's just like, hey, great, this is fun. Have a good time. Like,
fuck your context.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird. And then Bond gets attacked by Kid and Wint again.
Yeah, he and Tiffany are like gonna have a nice, like they're on this cruise ship and they're just hanging out on their veranda, and then Kid and Wint come up pretending to be like a sommelier and like a waiter, and they're like, oh, compliments of Mr. White. Here's all this wonderful stuff, including the beautiful dessert Bombe Surprise.
Yeah, Bombe Surprise is great.
And then like James Bond figures out that they're the assassins because he smelled the aftershave before a fight happens. Oh my god, Bombe Surprise is a surprise bomb. What? They're both easily defeated and thrown overboard.
Yeah, Mr. Kidd is lit on fire.
On fire.
And then Mr. Wint is flipped over and exploded by the bomb.
Probably don't wear your gasoline shirt when you're going to go fight somebody.
Yeah, Mr. Kidd goes up like he is made of flash paper. It's pretty amazing.
And then Tiffany Case was like, "Oh, Bond, how do you think we're going to get those diamonds down from up there?" And then
that's the movie.
End music and we're done.
Yeah. This movie's stupid.
It's really dumb. I kind of like it, except I don't because of, again, the horrible, horrible scene.
I mean, man, this is probably the first movie that we've watched so far that my opinion of it was very different from what I remembered it being.
Sure.
Every other movie I watched, I was like, yeah, this is kind of how I remembered it being. Diamonds Are Forever, I loved when I was younger, and I'm watching it now, and I'm just like, boy, this is a really bad one.
Well, like, as a child, you care a lot less about continuity and, like, things
Yeah.
making sense. And I can totally see as a kid being like, oh, bright lights, like, shiny stuff. There's a bunch of, like, explosions and fights.
Yeah.
And, like, I can see a kid being like, this is really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely one that I enjoyed some of the goofy parts of it. I enjoyed Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. They're fun.
I agree.
Yeah. What can I say? We'll talk about the reception, generally speaking, a little bit later, but we'll talk about some of the actors right now. Because this is a lot.
Oh, there's so many people in this
There's
movie.
so many people in this movie.
We can't talk about all of them.
We're
There's
not
so many
going to
people.
talk about all of them. I'm just going to briefly go over. So Blofeld's played by Charles Gray. He was in, obviously, You Only Live Twice as Mr. Henderson, I believe was his name. And as I said before, he is the criminalist in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
That's like the other big thing he's known for.
I think he did a really good job in this movie. There's like this strange affect that he gives Blofeld where like Blofeld doesn't like move a lot when he walks. So like
Yeah.
his whole upper body is very rigid and he kind of glides when he moves.
Yeah.
It's very unsettling. Good job.
Yeah, I like his performance better than I liked Telly Savalas. And I like Telly Savalas. I think he's a good actor, but I think his performance is closer to kind of Donald Pleasance's, like, you know, sort of like mastermind,
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. Whereas Telly Savalas was like weirdly like, I'm going to ski myself, which is like, why? Why are we doing this? But I really liked Charles Gray, even though like it's just very confusing.
Yes.
Have him do this. Tiffany Case is played by Jill St. John. Jill St. John is a very interesting person. Yeah, Jill St. John's very interesting. She was an actress back in those days. She was in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she did a ton of television. She did a ton of movies. I don't usually want to get into this sort of thing, but one of the things that she's really known for is that she dated a lot of famous men.
I can see that.
This is by no means an exhaustive list, but let me just give this to you. This is, in general, from makes the most sense to is the weirdest.
Okay.
She dated both Sean Connery and George Lazenby.
Sure.
Sean Connery, by the way, was divorced by the time this movie came out, and so they were actually dating while they filmed this movie.
Yeah.
She dated the screenwriter Tom Mankiewicz. She dated a bunch of other actors. She dated Jack Nicholson. She dated Michael Caine. She dated Frank Sinatra. She dated Trini Lopez. She dated Joe Namath. She dated Tom Selleck. Roman Polanski.
No.
And Henry fucking Kissinger.
There was apparently a thing where like Henry Kissinger had a weird charm and like women gravitated to him for some reason.
I don't know why.
Gross. Extremely gross to me.
She was in 2 episodes of Adam West's Batman. She was the Riddler's Moll, named Molly. And by the way, she dated Adam West too.
Of course.
She was married 4 times. Once to some rich guy, once to some rich guy who was also a professional race car driver, once to singer Jack Jones, and then she eventually married Robert Wagner. Remember from before? The guy who almost was James Bond in this movie, who was in Austin Powers? Yeah, him. I told you to hold on to that one, didn't I?
Oh my god, the longest plan ticket payoff we've ever done.
She was also in lots of TV. She did like cooking stuff in the 80s. Like there was a time when people knew her most for like doing cooking. She had a cookbook. It was like a whole thing.
Damn, good for her.
Very interesting. Although she's a Republican, so you know.
Yeah.
Plenty O'Toole is played by Lana Wood, younger sister of Natalie Wood.
Oh, is this before or after? Because she dies in a pool.
This was before that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh.
Yeah. Natalie Wood was a famous actress in her own right and was also married to Robert Wagner. Another one. That was another payoff.
Another one.
Wild. Absolutely wild. She also dated Sean Connery and Adam West and was in a bunch of television.
Yeah.
Felix Leiter was played by Norman Burton. Norman Burton was well known for playing like military and police officers. He kind of had that look.
He really does.
Although maybe his most famous movie that he was in was he was one of the main gorillas in Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Should have put him in the cage.
Willard White was played by Jimmy Dean. Now you might be thinking,
Wait, the sausage guy?
wait, you sausage guy? Yes.
I thought that guy looked familiar. I was not like the part of my brain that like looks at actors like, hey, he was in this. It was not also accessing the breakfast sausage commercial Rolodex.
Yeah.
Like
He was also a famous country singer. That's
yes, yeah.
So
Got the voice for it.
and also interestingly, Willard White is based on Howard Hughes.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
with the whole that no one's seen him for 5 years
Yeah.
thing. And didn't Howard Hughes also spend a bunch of time in Vegas?
Yeah. Bert Saxby was played by Bruce Cabot. Yeah, Bruce Cabot. Bruce Cabot was friends with John Wayne. He was in 10 movies with him, and the curse strikes again as this was the last one he filmed before dying the next year.
Oh no.
Yeah, we keep getting on that. Mr. Kidd was played by a guy named Putter Smith. Putter Smith was a really well-known musician, not really an actor. He was a jazz musician, was a really well-known bassist. He worked from everyone from Thelonious Monk and the Beach Boys to Burt Bacharach to Ray Charles to Beck.
This is gonna sound wild. That's why that guy's face is familiar to
Yeah,
me.
you're probably right. Like, you probably have seen him somewhere.
On an album in my dad's house, absolutely. Yes.
Almost certainly.
My dad is a pretty big Thelonious Monk fan, so
Yep. Mr. Wint is played by Bruce Glover, dad of Crispin Glover. He was also in a bunch of TV, as well as Chinatown and Hard Times. Also of Red Letter Media fame as Van Helsing in Die Hard Dracula.
What?
Yeah!
Oh my god, yes. Yes. Oh, Die Hard Dracula.
Beautiful. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Die Hard Dracula, you have to watch Die Hard Dracula. You want to talk about like it being confusing that the same character is played by multiple actors over several movies? Die Hard Dracula's played by multiple actors in the same movie, and it's really weird.
Oh, fantastic.
And Bruce Glover is drunk off his ass the entire film. You have to watch it. It's so good. Dr. Metz was played by a guy named Joseph First, who was just in a bunch of movies and TV. He was on some episodes of this show called The Saint with some guy named Roger Moore. Oh, well, we'll probably never hear about him again. The lady who played Mrs. Whistler was also on The Saint, interestingly enough.
Wait, the woman from the orphanage?
Yes.
Okay. There's so many fucking people in this movie.
There's so many fucking people in this movie. Shady Tree is played by Leonard Barr. Leonard Barr was an actual comedian who did lots and lots of small roles. He was Dean Martin's uncle. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about with this fucking movie. And here's the thing. There are still at least 2 more that I haven't gotten to yet that are fucking wild. Just you wait.
Oh my god.
Peter Franks was played by Joe Robinson. Joe Robinson was a pro wrestler and martial artist. He did a bunch of Bond-adjacent work. He almost got the role of Grant in From Russia with Love before they gave it to Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the fight trainer for Honor Blackman, Pussy Galore,
yeah, cool.
when she was on the Avengers. So that's interesting. In a very small role, I believe he is one of the like mafia guys, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Is a guy by the name of Sid Haig.
Wait, I know that name.
Sid Haig has been in tons of things. He was did bit parts in the old Batman show, Mission Impossible, Star Trek, Charlie's Angels, Dukes of Hazzard, MacGyver, etc. But he's probably best known for being in Rob Zombie films like The House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the bald, scary guy with the beard? That is Sid Haig. Like, he had a crazy long career doing small stuff, but then, like, that became, like, his whole career later on.
I know that guy, yeah.
Yeah, lots of people know that guy. One of the dancers in the film that we don't see a whole lot of, that is Cassandra Peterson, a.k.a. Elvira.
What? Elvira's in this?
Yep, sure is.
Oh, my God.
She's not credited at all because she wasn't, like, known at the time, but yeah.
Like one of the dancers that's just standing next to shady trees, shady oaks, whatever?
Either that or one of the ones in the background, like,
Sure.
It is not clear.
Wild.
Yeah, so it's pretty insane, all the people that are in this movie. There's a bunch of other actors, too, who were in this that I didn't mention. I'm not going to get in anymore because there's just too many.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie. There's a lot of moving parts. It's very confusing.
It's pretty wild. The making of this film was very strange. This one was actually produced mainly in America. It was the first one that was done. Not only was it shot in America, it was mostly filmed in America. Apparently, Guy Hamilton was having some issues with the unions in British film. And so to get Guy Hamilton to direct it, like, one of the stipulations was, hey, like, we got to film this in America because I don't want to deal with the unions.
Oh, was it like a personal problem, or was he just mad at the way that the unions work?
He had filmed a film called Battle of Britain, and he was having some kind of argument with them regarding that. I don't 100% know.
Yeah, fair enough.
How that goes. Initially, Miss Moneypenny was not going to be in the movie. Lois Maxwell had held out for a pay increase, but during the production, they added her back in, and that's why she's only in that one weird scene where she's, like, not actually seen with James Bond. She's sort of like, you know what I mean? Like, she's looking down at the car, and then he's looking up. They apparently weren't together when they filmed that. It was two separate shots, So, contemporary reviews. At the time, people actually really liked it, which is kind of odd considering that nowadays people think it's dog shit. Like, it has not aged very well. People have, for the most part, kind of looked down on it. They see it as too silly. They see it as, like, being kind of weird, and they have a lot of problems with the plot contrivances that we already have talked about. But at the time, they thought it was fun. People didn't really like On Her Majesty's Secret Service. They didn't really like Lazenby, so they were kind of happy to see Connery back.
So I did find Roger Ebert has a contemporary review of Diamonds Are Forever, and it is on his website.
Yes.
He does kind of agree with that it's, like, silly and dumb, but like, it's fun, who cares? So yeah, he calls Sean Connery dry and unflappable with a mouth that does as many kinds of sly grins as there are vivacious possibilities in the universe.
Yeah.
There's something about his detachment from danger that props up the whole Bond apparatus, insulating it from the total ridiculousness only an inch away. And yeah, I kind of agree with that.
And what's interesting is that Gene Siskel, famously later of Siskel and Ebert, hated this movie.
Unsurprising.
He thought it was terrible, and was just a classic example of Ebert loving it and Siskel hating it, which was, like, their whole thing.
Yeah.
And also them hating each other because they did not like each other.
I like this bit at the end. The plot of Diamonds Are Forever is as complicated as possible. That's necessary in order to have somebody left after 9 dozen bad guys have been killed.
Yeah, it's
And then
absolutely true.
he ends the review by saying, the point in a Bond adventure is the moment, the surface, what's happening now. The less time wasted on plot, the better.
Mm-hmm. This was yet another Bond film that was nominated for an Oscar. It was nominated for Best Sound, although it did not win.
The sound in this was much better than the last one.
Yeah.
Although that's not really a high metric.
Yeah, the last one was pretty bad. Unfortunately, Rotten Tomatoes changed how they do you can see the rankings on their website, so it's actually kind of hard to tell here. But Diamonds Are Forever is the lowest ranked Sean Connery film by far. Tomatometer has it 19th with a 64% and a 57 audience score, which is by far the lowest so far. The second lowest is You Only Live Twice, and that one's a 73% critic score and a 68% audience score. So, neither of those movies are particularly well received, but Diamonds Are Forever is significantly worse. So, that's kind of how people feel about it. And I really get it. Watching it again, I was kind of shocked at how ridiculous it was.
It's ridiculous and over the top, and it's the most cartoony, I think, of all the ones that we've seen. Some like truly heinous stuff happens in the middle there, and like James Bond is very callous about like the death of a random woman.
Yeah.
And that's really gross. I mean, Tiffany Case at least feels like a real person.
Yeah, she's okay. She's the first American Bond girl.
Yeah.
And I think she does all right, you know?
She is smart. She is clever. She does her best to protect herself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she has specific wants. In this case, it's getting quite a lot of money for doing a thing. That's honestly all that I can ask out of this series of movies at this point.
Yeah.
Thumper and Bambi were really fun, even though what their motives were, who hired them, why they're there, all unknowns.
Who cares?
Who gives a
Yeah.
shit? James Bond gets his ass kicked by two hot ladies for a hot sec.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to rank this last out of all of them so far.
It's not last for me, but it's pretty down near the bottom. Especially because, like, you know, not only the terrible racism in the middle, but also, like, hey, what the fuck is the plot?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, to me, the way I'm thinking about it right now is if, like, okay, I have to right now my least ranked James Bond film aside from this one is Dr. No. And I'm thinking, if you said, Donovan, you have to sit down and watch either Dr. No or Diamonds Are Forever right now, which one do you want to watch? I'm picking Dr. No, no question. But I also just watched Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like wondering if maybe after a week or two, like I'll think about it and I'll be like, you know, but I don't know. Dr. No, even though it's a slow plodding film, it has its charms. This one, like, I have a headache. Like, I just don't want to think about this movie anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It a little bit. It's not as bad as On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but it does a little bit feel like if you watch it too much, it's gonna rewire your brain in a way that, I don't know, gives you seizures or something.
Yeah, no, this is last. I'm putting it last. Yeah.
Fair. And stopping you.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for Sean Connery. Hannah,
That's the last Sean Connery.
how do you feel about Sean Connery?
I've never had tender feelings for Sean Connery. I don't particularly like him as a person. His acting is more or less okay. But he said that thing that one time about how sometimes you have to slap a woman to get her to calm down. And I'm like, hey, man,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Sometimes you wonder if James Bond and Sean Connery are basically just like, yeah.
Yeah, no. He was clearly done being Bond. Like,
Yeah.
he was not that interested in this movie.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of the dryness from this performance is not so much him making a choice of, like, James Bond is detached in this moment, as in, I don't want to fucking be here, and I'm only here because you paid me a truckload of money.
Yeah, and apparently when they were filming it, he, like, all he did was play golf and go to shows. Like, he did not care. He was 100% checked out.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And you know what? He is now checked out of the franchise.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to do this. Like, you know, you get tired of doing the same thing over and over again after a while eventually.
Yeah.
And I liked the variety that Lazenby brought, and so I'm kind of excited to see where, like, the next James Bond goes.
Yeah. Roger Moore, I'm sure, will not outstay his welcome in 7 films.
7 films?
Oh, yeah.
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
You said that 6 people have been Bond?
6 actors have played James
Okay,
Bond.
so Connery, Lazenby,
Moore. Roger Moore.
Roger Moore's the next
Timothy
one.
Dalton.
Timothy Dalton, and then
Pierce Brosnan,
and
Daniel
then
Craig.
Daniel Craig, okay.
Yep. Daniel Craig technically played Bond the longest, but not in the most films.
Yeah, because it was the longest amount of time between,
Yeah, he started in 2006 and then he ended in 2023, I believe it was.
Studio turnaround time was different.
Yes, very different back then.
Wait, 2020. When did the last
No Time to Die came out in, maybe it was 2021.
Are you sure that was after the pandemic?
It was during the pandemic.
And there were 3.
Daniel Craig did 5 movies.
Where the fuck was I?
No,
I thought he did 3.
Nope, he did 5. He did 2 good ones and 2. He did 2 good ones, 1 okay one, 1 bad one, and then I have a secret. I've actually not seen No Time to Die. So when we watch it, it'll be the first time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a surprise for last episode, but that's fine.
That's fine.
We'll get there.
I'll pretend like I don't remember this later, which I probably won't.
Yeah.
My brain is broken.
All right, well, see you next week, y'all.
Toodaloo.
Thanks for listening. You can find us at mythingyourthing.com or at mythingyourthingpod on social media. Thanks to RK Maroon for letting us use their song Macaroni Art from the EP You Can't Eat Horses. You can get it at rkmaroon.bandcamp.com. If you have a thing you think we should talk about, email us at mythingyourthingpod@gmail.com, and maybe that could be our thing. But like I said, people really like this one. It made $116 million on a $7 million budget, compared to the last one, which only made $65 million. That was a huge success, almost double. So yeah, people liked this one at the time. Also, yeah, Natalie Wood, Lana Wood's sister, famously died in a horrible accident or possibly murder.
Possibly murder. Yeah, there's a bunch of mysterious circumstances around it, and like I know that Natalie Wood also had a huge fear that she was going to die in water, and then she died in water.
Yeah, she definitely died in that pool, which is kind of crazy because Lana Wood in this movie, her character is drowned in a pool.
Yeah.
And then also is thrown in a pool in a different scene.
Yeah, she's thrown out of a window into a pool, and then later she drowns in a different pool.
That's pretty...
Or maybe she didn't drown in the pool. Maybe they just killed her and then threw her in the pool. But like, anyway, she's dead and in a pool.
Yeah. Life imitating art sometimes isn't a good thing.
This was like well before Natalie Wood, right?
Oh, well before.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and at that point, Natalie Wood, I believe, was dating Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Who is a future Bond villain. Crazy how that all comes together.
Yeah, man. People make jokes about, like, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but, like, you can tie anybody to anybody.
You really can. The world's not that big. I mean, it is, but it's not.
It's the biggest thing we're ever gonna know. Don't make a fucking dick joke.
Not even close. I was, like, feeling, like, sad about, like, not being able to go into space, and then you're like, dick.
Okay, that was less for you and more for our listeners.
All right.
Because there's definitely going to be a bunch of comments like, I'll show you the biggest thing you'll ever know. Get wrecked.
Okay.
You can cut all of that if you want.
No.